how you can join in. First of all, let's talk about the teacher's video box. This is the video box that I'm in and that you're looking at right now. This is where the teacher will share their screen and show you what to do. When the teacher is showing you how to do something, you should make this video box go into full screen by clicking on the full screen icon here. Try it now and this video should get bigger and cover your whole screen. When the lesson starts, you will see all the steps for the lesson appear here. These are the steps you need to follow to create the project, and the teacher will guide you through each of these step by step. Though if you wish to go ahead and follow them yourself, that's no problem. You will normally be working with two tabs, one tab for the instructions and one tab for creating the code and your project. When you have completed a step, come back to the instructions tab and click on this green done button. You get an award and learning points for each step you complete. Under the video box, you will see what step the teacher is currently on. Under that, you will see the chat feed. The chat feed shows you how everyone is doing, and you can put your own entries into it by clicking on the blue chat button and entering your question or message. Or you can give a quick thumbs up or down, or even put in emojis by using the green react button. After the teacher has shown you how to do a step, click on the exit full screen button to make the video go back small. Try it now. Okay, that's it for the instructions. We can't wait to see what you create. And remember, you can always come up with your own ideas and add them into your project. If you do want to share your project and your own ideas, you can do that using the purple button at the bottom of the lesson. We often show the best ones at the start of the next class. Okay, today's lesson is going to start in a few minutes, so strap in and get ready to code.
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to our live lesson. We have today a cool one. It's going to be very familiar to you if your internet connection is a little bit dodgy in the house. It's very familiar because you'll have a very similar game that happens on Google if your internet is not working. If you have Google Chrome and you try to access it without internet, it basically plays this game. So we're going to recreate our own version of that game today, and it doesn't take a massive amount of code, and I'm looking forward to getting into it. It's kind of cool because it is very familiar because we'll be making similar games. We made similar games before, so it's not going to be too hard for us, and we're looking forward to it. Good to see everyone on board today, guys. Good to see everyone back. Someone's eating dinner. Sonic's background. There we go. Good to see everyone alive and well. I'm going to share my screen, guys, as per usual. I think everyone here has done live lessons before, so I don't think I have to go through anything from the start. My internet went real bad. Real gamer, mine too, said Milan. Well, don't worry, we're going to be making our game today. That's going to be very similar to the game that always plays when your internet doesn't work if you're using Google Chrome. Is that still my live? No, it's me live. So I'm just going to hide that. So it's called Dino Jump. We're going to be able to create a game using MakeCode Arcade today. We're going to be making it, it's the classic Google Chrome game with the dinosaur running and jumping over trees and seeing how long. So you'll notice our timer is not based on how many trees you jump over. It's based on how long you are running for. So this you'll know if you've ever played the game. It's not the hardest game in the world. It's kind of easy. But we can add an endpoint. I think in Chrome it's infinite. So I'm making MakeCode Arcade game. It's not finished. Okay, cool, but fine. Yeah, that sounds good. We might put an endpoint in this just so we're not going forever and ever and ever. And then I think we should have time at the end of this. I know people were disappointed last week that we didn't get a blue quiz in. So hopefully we'll have time at the end of this. But I do think that the quiz, or that the lesson last week was really cool, the ship battle one. I thought it was a really cool lesson, and I would like to do another one similar to that in the future, if we can, which I'll have to put together. So, without further ado, we're going to open up MakeCode Arcade. So here are all my MakeCode Arcade projects. I'm going to open up a new project and I'm going to call it Dino Jump and jump straight into my project. Both maths. You can actually you can look back at our last few lessons. I'm looking for a map editor. You need to grab this tile map tile. That's our next step. I'll come to it. You made the game from last week on Microbit. Did we not play the ship battle last week, or was that the week before? I can't remember when we did it. Maybe I'll get my lessons confused. But anyway, once you have your MakeCode Arcade open, our first step, guys, is to draw the map. So this is going to be a very, very long map. And we're going to basically pull out 2 pieces of code. Now, I'll show you this. This is a little bit confusing, and I think we have one question already in the chat about this. So we need to grab 2 bit of codes from the scene section, and we're going to grab the set background color to blue. Obviously, that's going to be the sky. And when our game simulator updates, it's going to go blue, which is lovely. And then the next thing I need is the set tile map. So that's this one down here. It's in scene, and it's further down. And right now it's set tile map to gray. But what we want to go into that. We're going to click on that gray. And when we've given the instruction, set the dimensions of the map to be width 100, height 8. What we're talking about, and you can see it here, is this part down the bottom left-hand side. So I'm going to go down to the bottom left-hand side. I want width 100, and I want height to be 8. And when you click that in, it's going to start looking really long and narrow. Because basically, we don't want it to be a big square game. We want it to be zoomed in on the tile map down here. And what we're going to do, guys, we're going to draw our basically ground from left to right on the ground, obviously. And you can pick whatever color you want the ground to be. I'm going to pick this one here because I think it looks good. And I'm going to basically cover the ground. I'm going to try and drag it along the bottom of my screen. Oh, sugar, I missed a bit there, but that's okay. We have rubbers. I can go back to drawing it here. Now you can see I've got my background set and I have my floor. So let me just double check that my floor is okay. And then you want something along the finish line. So you can choose something else for the finish line. I'm going to use this bush and just lay it out down at the finish line. All the way down. So you need to, first of all, set this to 100 on the bottom left-hand side, 108. And then you need to draw your ground. Your ground can be the same as mine or it can be slightly different. It doesn't really matter. If you want, you can click into this forest and you can pick different types and you can actually flick through and find different cells to use. I'm going to stick with just the forest theme because it's the first one that pops up. But if you want to click through it, you can, and you can make yours whatever way you want. You can make it very unique to yourself. And what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to just click done and hopefully have a look at my simulator and you should see your floor and your background being blue. So you set the color of the background and we've drawn the tile map. I hope that's clear for you guys. I'm just going to pause for a second because I know there'll be people who are out there who are designing their tile map now, and I don't want to rush you guys. I want to give you time to design it very well. We will have time tomorrow, don't worry. We will have time later on to do our quiz. It's not the longest lesson in the world, so we're okay. Okay. So you can already kind of see this game starting to take shape. It has how many steps? It has 10 steps, 11 steps. We can do a bonus level if we want. So we have Big Head Boys online. We have Milan online, who has made his Dino a duck. We have Puffman, we have Real Gamer, and we have Dr. Sigma. Good to see all you guys online. All the classic coding club members. Okay, guys, I'm going to go down to make my Dino sprite. That's my next step. So our next step, we're going to be controlling a dinosaur character that runs and jumps over cactuses. So we need to add in a sprite. So we're going to go jump in. We're going to go on sprites. And we're going to grab that set my sprite to sprite of kind player. Remember, obviously, it is the player we are being, so we need to make sure it's player. And I don't think the gallery has a dinosaur. It does have these kind of anime guys here, but they're going to be too big. They're not going to work for us. I'm going to make my own that looks more like the Google kind of dinosaur. So you might have to kind of go back and forth and try and, it might take a little bit of work here. I'm going to give you guys a good few minutes to work on this. Mine's going to be green because I'm going to follow the example very closely, hopefully. I am pretty happy with that. I'll be honest with you, if you're watching my screen and you've seen my art before, that is better than it normally goes. Actually, I made a mistake there. My legs aren't long enough. You want to have decent legs, guys, because we are going to make 2 designs. So, do you have one then? We haven't actually programmed it in. You could make 2 designs. It doesn't really matter, I suppose. And have 2 costumes, swap back and forth. I suppose that maybe is more of a Scratch idea than a Make Code Arcade idea. But so I suppose it doesn't really matter how long his legs are. But you want to make sure you're happy with the design. And I'll give you a few minutes just to get that finished up and get that out the way you like. He looks pretty good, I think. He looks a lot better before I put him out on. And what will happen is if you jump out of that editor, your dinosaur will appear floating in the middle of the screen. So we haven't told him where to start or where to go. But one thing you do have to make sure when you're designing your sprite is that his feet are touching the bottom of the grid. You don't want him to be floating because then he's going to be floating on the image. So make sure he's touching the bottom of the grid. And you can make your dino a duck if you want. That's no big deal. Just give you a few more minutes, guys. I know people get very into their design when they start doing a custom design. So I'll give you just in the last minute there just to finish that up. I've never looked at any of these extensions. Anyway, so our next step, guys, is that we need to add in some gravity and move the dinosaur. So moving the dinosaur is very simple. In our game, the dinosaur is not controlled by a controller because we don't want him to be able to stop. The idea of this game is he has to keep running. And the only button we have is that he jumps. We're not saying go forward. He automatically does that. But we want to say he has to jump. So what we need to do is we need to add acceleration and velocity. So we're going to set my sprite acceleration Y to 400 and set my Vx velocity to 100. So AY, that's your gravity basically. That's saying push him down to the ground. So always be pushing him down to the ground. And I'm going to add that in now. So obviously we're going into sprites here. And I'm going to look for acceleration first. Which I'm not seeing at the minute. I might have to do another search. Oh, do you know what it is? It is the same one. Oh no, it's not. It's this one here. Now that says set my sprite X to. If we click on that, we actually get a range of other options. So I'm going to pull up acceleration Y, AY. I always lose that. So get your acceleration Y to 400. And we want to make sure that our Vx, so that's the same idea, we're putting out that same block, and it's going to be velocity X to 100, I believe. I think it was. I can double check that. And then we want to say, right, if we just let that there, our sprite just flies across the screen and he jumps off. Oh, I'll go back actually a few steps. My dinosaur did not land on the floor where it was supposed to land. He's actually off the screen. And I missed a step actually when I was designing my tile map. So I'm going to click back into my tile map, guys, if you're having that same issue. What you need to do is you need to tell the game that this is not just the background. This is actually wall. So our sprite should not be able to touch it. It shouldn't be... it should be solid. So what you need to do is pick on whatever color you thought or whatever kind of design you said the floor was going to be. And then you want to hit this button here that says, that looks like, I don't know, it looks like a 3D shape. That's the button that says wall. So we're going to grab and we're going to drag our cursor across the bottom until it's all red. So basically saying that is a wall. Oh no, I'm not sure. Messing up there, but sure, look. We can always fix mistakes. I can go undo. I can undo it. And then it goes all red. So once it's all red, we're good. And then I'm going to go back in, just reload it. And he still actually didn't land those. There he goes. So he lands now on top of the red. And I have one more step there, guys. Right now, my dinosaur jumps off the screen. I want to make sure my camera follows my sprite. So I'm going to reload it one last time. And now we get a happy dinosaur who runs all the way to the end of the game. And it's not very fun because there's no obstacles. But it's quite long. You can see, yeah, he runs for quite a while before he reaches the end of the game. Yeah, so I'll just give you a few minutes to catch up with that, guys, because I know I went through a lot in that step. So if you want to make sure your tile map is marked as walls, and make sure you have your A, AY, and VX all inputted. And if you're looking for those, they are here where it says set my sprite X. You can change that by clicking on the X, and there's loads of options. Which you can see the game's starting to take shape now. All right, now you can see we're going to have to program some of these buttons. Because right now, none of them do anything. So let's go on to the next step, guys. This is going to be make it jump. And like Milan, I think went a few steps ahead, so he knows what's going to happen here. But basically, we're going to make our dinosaur fly. So we need to program the A button. So we're going to pull out from the controller when A button pressed. And I'm just going to go over here so I have a little bit extra room so you guys can see it if you're following me. And we need an if then. So basically, we're saying if the sprite hits the wall on the bottom, then set the velocity y, so vy, to minus 200. So he gets minus 200. We're going to play a sound, so we're going to add a little bit of sound effect. So we're going to say he's going to jump up. Now, that's only if he's touching the floor. If he's not touching the floor, it doesn't do anything. So there is the clause there. So where is our if and then blocks? That kind of light blue. There it is. Now, where am I looking for this one? If is my sprite hitting wall. So it looks like it's in. It looks like it's going to be in scene. Here it is. It's in scene. It's a good bit down towards the end of it. So if my sprite is hitting wall bottom, then set my sprite VX. Is it VY? I think it's VY. To minus 200. And you'll see what that looks like in the game if we update it. And our dinosaur does a little jump. Perfect. You can see exactly what's going to happen next. Where we're going with the game. It all makes sense. And even our camera moves up a little bit. And we also want to add a little bit of sound effect. We want to add a bit of fun to the game. We're going to add some music into it. I'm going to check out sounds. So I'm going to go into, you got loads of sounds here. Let's try jump up. Obviously, that makes sense for this. So I'm going to listen to them. That's a very video gamey kind of sound. You don't need to add that, but it's nice. Makes the game seem a little bit more realistic. As you can see it here. I don't know if you guys can hear that on your screens, but it makes it a lot more fun. And make sure, guys, I could definitely see people making mistakes. Is my sprite hitting wall bottom? Make sure it's hitting wall bottom, or else you might run into some trouble. And our next step, we're going to add in the cactuses. And actually, I didn't know this. If you go into the game, if you click your space bar, if you're using a keyboard, that closes the A button. I wonder, is there another button that's your B? So I'm just clicking around my keyboard for a bit. But Q is also A. E. E works as your B button. So spacebar and E are the B buttons. And also X. Oh, the more you play, the more you learn. I tell you what. I'm always learning. Anyway. So we're going to add in cactuses, guys. This game needs a few obstacles. Right now we're just running for no reason. So we're going to add some trees to make the dinosaur jump over. So we're going to click on the gray box. We're going to go into our tile map again. So back over to our first bit of code. We're going to click into this tile map. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and find some trees that we like the look of. And we're going to just spread them out around the game. So we want to, you can try this out. You might need to do it a few times before you're kind of happy with the locations. I'm going to find, do I like any of them trees? I don't know if I love any of them trees. I'm going to try Miscellaneous. Yeah, they have a better looking tree. And just spread them out randomly, basically. You don't want them to be too close together. You don't want to be too even like that. You can just continually jump over them. You want to spread them out randomly. And this will take a little bit of going back and forth. You might need to go back and forth a few times to change locations, but you give it a go and see what happens. Basically, you reload your game, and your dinosaurs start running past the trees. You won't run into them. Oh, I didn't click done. I clicked X on mine, so I deleted all mine. I don't know why mine's not showing trees. I think it's an error. I'm going to reload my page. Let's try it again. Yeah, it was an error. So that is a lot. Let me just see if I can jump over them. You want to make sure it's doable. You're not leaving too far of a gap. So I'll try that again. Just I'm gonna have to delete my first tree because he kind of appears on top. I should probably too many trees to be honest with you. In my game, I'm gonna actually go back and delete some of these trees. I think I have too many. I'm gonna get the rubber. And I think the rest of them are fine, so I'll try that. And you might have to go back. That's fine. I don't know if you can do a tree jump. But anyway, so we have our cactuses in now, and right now we're not bumping into them. Right now they're just in the background. So we need to make sure that they are actually they are actually obstacles that if we hit, it's game over for the dinosaur. And that's this piece of code. So we say it's in scene. Obviously, you can tell by the grey background of it. On sprite of kind player overlaps, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So I'm going to go into make arcade, and it's going to be in scene. I'm going to scroll down a small bit, and it's here. This one here. It says on sprite of kind player overlaps. It's like it looks like a grey chessboard at location. I'm going to pull him out, and I'm going to start coding that. So if our player overlaps with, and it gives you options. Obviously, there's 3 types of sprites in the game. There is not sprites, 3 types of background tile in the game. Excuse me. There is the ground, there is the bushes at the end, and there is the trees. So if he bangs into the trees, basically we want to say it's game over, and unfortunately we lose. So lose. Hello, Zimojuno. Welcome to the lesson. And you can try that out in your game. If you hit the tree, it should unfortunately end in a game over. Right now, you could do that as a game, but I don't know if you can get over 3. You probably can. I can do it. So embarrassing. I'm actually going to take away the 2-sided ones because I think that might be too difficult. Or the tree top ones. Maybe you guys can do it. I can't. So basically, we have a game now where the dinosaur is able to run to the end of the map. I'm actually just take out the sound for a second because it's going to do my head in. The dinosaur is able to jump to the end of the game, and you can do that. God, maybe you guys can do it. A man who teaches about games, I sure do suck at this one. Oh, he's on a roll now, though. So I just want to show you what happens when I get to the end of my game. So I get to the end of my game now, and there is no confetti. There is no music that plays when I finish. Right now, there's nothing. So what I want to do is, obviously, I I wanted to keep score, and I want to be able to win the game. They're basically our last two steps in the basic lesson. Then we're going to go on to the more complicated stuff. So we want to start the game with 0. So we're going to add in the scorekeeping element. So the player will earn points depending on how long they can go without hitting a tree. So we're going to set points to 0. So that's in info. We're going to say set score to 0 from the start. So on our very first piece of code that we added, add that in at the end. So the score is going to pop up on the left-hand side. You'll see it right here. If you're playing the game, you have 0. And right now, it stays at 0 because I haven't told it when it should add points. And then we want to say every 100 milliseconds, so a tenth of a second, it's going to add a point on. So the game, you're going to rack up points pretty quickly. So we're going to say on game update every 100 milliseconds. We want to change score by 1. And I'll show you what that looks like in my game. You get past the first tree. And you can see that score really adding up very quickly at the top of the screen, which is cool. Nice to have that. But the issue is I run to the end of the screen and there's nothing exciting happening there. Which obviously brings us to our next step. Milan, I will look at that now in a second because I'm looking forward to it. It looks cool. And then the last thing we need to say is if we reach those bushes at the end, so we're going to basically do this sprite that said, or basically put this code in that says, if we touch the tree, game over. We're going to do the opposite of that. Basically saying, if we touch the background that looks like the bushes that I put at the very end of my game, it's game over with a win. And you'll get the confetti and game over screen. So I'm just going to try that out. Oh, God. If I could ever buy these first trees. I hope you guys left more room than I did. The issue is I have to get to the end of the game to show you how that works. Yeah. New best score, 148 for me. So your guys' game should be basically finished at this stage. Your A button is working. I'll have a look at that now. Real gamer, because I say. You nicknamed your sprite. I always like when people do that because it's very easy to confuse when you have lots and lots of sprites. Your A button is not working. You're right. Okay. Real gamer, I'm just noticing you have VY, and I think what we had in my code was AY. So I'm just going to try that out. Yeah, and that's your issue there. So basically, let's try and explain that. Acceleration can be changed if we have our velocity. So sorry, I'm going to mess this up. Basically, this needs to be acceleration, meaning it's pushing down on us, but it's not total. We can still push against it. Whereas acceleration with velocity means it's stuck at that. We're not going to be able to change it. So all you need to do is go back to your on start code and change your A or VY to AY. So acceleration. And then your jump will be restored to normal. I hope that helps. I'm going to have a look at Milan's work because it looks like a bit of fun. He's got some. Oh, he's got different options. And a tricky amount of gap. Man, you need to end of game here. Right? right now that doesn't seem to be working, or maybe it just didn't work for me. But apart from that, solid. Oh, these are supposed to. I was supposed to be hitting these. So if I ran into the boxes, I would have got an extra 10 points. I like that. Like bonus points. Very cool. Big fan of that. Let me have a look at Buffman. Buffman, we're missing a few bits here. Maybe this is my computer. That seemed like it didn't have everything in it. But this looks like a good amount of coding, so maybe it's just that window. I think that just might be on my end, is it? What is your tile map? Oh my god, it's massive. Was I just not on it yet? Where does your tile map start? It's 255 by 125. So you have it massively tall. You probably don't need it as tall as it is. If I were you, I think mine was set to 8. You might set yours to 12 or something like that, but you've set it really, really big. Oh, sugar, maybe I shouldn't do that. But I won't change your code anyway. Yours will be the same. But I don't know if yours isn't working on mine for some reason. But if it's working on yours, it might just be an error when you're sending it on to me. But double check it. You've also got a very, very big tile map. Mine is 108, like 100 and then 8. So it's much, much smaller than yours. I'm just going to go, before we wrap this up, guys, before we move away from this, I'm going to have a look at the bonus level, because we don't often get time to do this. We don't often get time to look at the bonus parts, the bonus challenges. So great job in creating your Dino Jump game. Well, everyone, well done. Now let's add a twist. Your challenge is to create a further small bonus level at the end of our current map. Extend our map a little further and design a special area with a unique reward tile that gets extra points when your dino reaches it. So think about how we can make this bonus area more exciting with different tiles and obstacles. And I like actually what Buffman had in his project. He had not just the blocks on the floor, he had boxes beyond that. So I'm going to extend mine by 20%. So I'm going to go 120 by 8. So if I do that, you can see my bushes stay where they are. I'm actually going to push them back a little bit. So I'm going to delete them. And what I'm going to have is more floor, but I'm going to change what it looks like. I'm going to go to something different. I think lava is maybe too much. Maybe it's brick or something like that. Here we go. And once you've entered that, like it's bonus points. And we can do that when we say if touching, change points by. So I'm gonna make sure it's wall. So I'm gonna touch it here with our wall maker. Now what I'm gonna do is set an extra challenge, guys. So I'm gonna make, and it's in miscellaneous, I'm gonna make fireballs appear in the air. And basically the idea is that our dinosaur has to avoid hitting these fireballs. So it's extra hard. I actually don't think he'd be able to do that. But let's find out. So I need to add in the code saying if he overlaps with the fireball, then it's game over. Game over to lose, by the way. And we also want to say if you're touching, so same again. If right, not overlaps so much as like he touches it. What can we say? Let's think. I'm trying to think how we would say, like, if he reaches this. And I'm trying to think of a way we could do that. So maybe it's Any ideas, guys? Because then we're not overlapping. Now, what I could do, actually, I'm just thinking about this now out loud. I go back to my tile map and basically change the background of it. So change the background to, I don't know, something spooky. All dark. So as soon as he reaches this end passage, it all goes dark. And you could say, like, if he's overlapping with the black ones, he gets double points or something like that. This is just kind of bonus content, guys. If you want to really up your game when it comes to your game design, these are the kind of things you want to start adding in. Just like bonus levels and stuff like that, because it's great to follow our lessons, but it's even better to make a game, like add on to it. So it makes it even cooler. And you'll see some people doing that really well. So I'm going to go here and then I'm just going to rub out this. And I'm not going to make that wall, okay? So now I'm going to go scene. And you go say, if my sprite overlaps with the black background, and you just go say, change score by 1. So that's every time he's in the black background, we're going to get double points. So I'm going to try and play it out. I don't know how well I'm going to get on with it, but we'll see. Now we're all nice and we're lovely and sunny. But soon we're going to reach the end of the happy part. And it's going to reach the hard, fiery part. Okay, right. It gets very intense. The only thing is you have to play through it every time you get to that. But it's nice to have an intense part of the game. Because it's very easy at the start. You know, you're kind of like, oh yeah, not a lovely fun game, casual game. And then hardcore when it comes to the end. Okay, here we go. I don't think I think I'll have to go back and redo some things there. But that's, yeah, you can add in practice levels like that, guys. I'm just going to check out a few people's games before we move on. Here's Buffman, right. What is going on? This is just absolutely not the game we made. This is a different game you made another time, is it? Very much like how he's walking. Wow, Buffman, this is really cool. How do I grab that? I don't know if my computer lets me grab it, is the only thing. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to click A. That's really cool. Big fan of that. So I'm supposed to grab the raft, I assume, and go to the edge of the screen. No, I'm just struggling to pick it up. But I hardly have to click the screen. My computer is like, every time I do this. No, I don't think my A button is working for it. Press A in the water, says Buffman. Oh my gosh, this is a well thought out game. Hey Mac, this is cool. I like it, Buffman. I like where you're going with that. It looks like a game that has a lot of potential. Right, guys, I'm gonna wrap up. I'm gonna wrap up the live lesson. Some really cool ones that came in there. Well done, everybody. Next time you're watching, it's still a bit broken. That's Buffman. That's all games. You know, that's they all take a bit of testing out, and they all take things like that. So that's don't worry about still being a bit broken. That's part of it. It's fantastic so far. Keep working on it. So I'm going to wrap up the live lesson, guys. We're going to maybe try a Bluket if you're free to do it. And I know you guys like these, so I'm just going to do it for the last maybe 10 minutes of this, and we'll see how we get on. So I'm going to put up a quiz. If you haven't, I think everyone here has done Bluket before. I'm gonna do a trying to think of a topic that kind of suits people. Guess the food. How's that gonna work? Sure, that's easy. We'll do a logo quiz because think of people love them. And we're gonna start off with a race, just a normal race. Code mute. Our code is 243845. Good man, Buff. I'm really looking forward to seeing that next week. That's gonna be really cool. It'll be really cool to see you guys making your own games as the week go on. And if you want to join our Blue Kit guys, it's 243845. If you want to join our Blue Kit quiz for the week. Big head boy is straight in. Buffster is right there. I'm going to log in, teach you guys a lesson. Zimo Juno is in. There's the winner of the competition. Real gamer, I'll have a look at yours while I'm waiting on that. Tough start. Although real tricky real gamer. That's hard to fourth jump. Very good though. Very on point. 243845. I'll put it in the chat. In case anyone wants to join. And I'll just give it 2 or 3 more minutes to make sure people are on board, and then we might do another round after this, and then we'll see what the time is. Okay. So we have Milan doesn't seem to be on anymore. Maybe he's gone off. Dr. Sigma maybe is not free to come on. So maybe they'll come on for the next game. We will have time for more than one anyway. So this is Guess the Logo, guys. It's a race. First to 30 meters. Best of luck. They've updated this game actually. They've given a new skin. Too easy. Oh, Buffster just sent me back a meter. I'll send him back a meter. Oh no, got it wrong. Ah, frozen. Just at the end. We have Big Head Boy, we have Zimo Juno, and we have the real gamer coming out on top. Only 2 questions separated the first from the third place. So well done, guys. Very, very fast. We'll do one more, guys. I think we've time for one more. Might do a different topic. You guys seem pretty good at that. You seem like you guys have that pretty covered. I might do. I'll let you vote on it. We can do Animal or Marvel movie. Oh, see, Marvel movie. You mightn't have seen the Marvel movies. So whereas the Animals you definitely saw. I'm gonna go for Battle Royale. We'll do so. So our new code is 505555. Five oh five 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 five. So if you play again, you should get an option for that. Just waiting for. I think there's one more person waiting to come on. I'm going to change mine. I think he's not scary enough. Upstairs on. Okay, I think that's everyone. Let's give it a go. So you played it before. Answer the questions quickly and save your lives. Oh, I got it wrong. I thought it was such a small screen. I thought it was a dolphin. I over and got that wrong. Dang. Figures it out. Yes. He gets one back. Simo Juno, the only person with all your lives left. Not for long. That was a gibbon. I was defeated. Zimo Juno is fast. He'll be hard to stop. Oh god, I don't know. Some sort of snake. No, that's who you got. Fair play to you. Okay. Me versus the Buster. Oh. No one said that answer. I think it was the bison. I thought it looked like a bison. Okay, no going easy anymore. Had to be an African wild dog. It wasn't any of the other ones, for sure. How was I beaten there? Genie Mac, you must have been very fast. Okay, only 3 players left. And I've only 1 life left. I'm feeling the pressure. Only 1 person got it right. I wonder who that was. Okay. Oh no, I clicked the wrong one. I just saw the G. I clicked the wrong one. That's silly. Okay, it's gonna be the final now. Big Head Boy versus Zimo Juno. Interested to see. Head to head. That's an easy one. That could be it, is it? I think that might be it. Final standings. Me in third place. Boy in second. And Zimo Juno in first place. All right, guys, we're going to leave it there for the week. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I hope you enjoyed making our Dino Jump lesson. And I will talk to you next week for the next one. See you then.